Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, my lecturer and our beloved friends. Tonight we will like discussion about form of nonverbal communication. This is discussion crafted by Group One. Before we continue or dive into the materials, let us acquaintance with each others. Next slide, please. Okay, the first one is me as Ahmad Nur Huda, and my friends, please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Rafael, and my student ID is 33 22 0049.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Dipo Hasbi. My student number is 33220176.
Okay, next. So guys, we would like to discussion about four categories of hand gesture. The first one is emblems. What is emblem? Emblem are symbol that represent specific idea or concept, often used to exchange understanding and connection. They bridge the gap between verbal and non-verbal communication, allowing you to express complex thoughts quickly and effectively. Now, for instance, raising your thumb can signal approval of agreement in many Western culture. Emblem exchange understanding by providing immediately visual context. They simplify complex ideas into recognizable symbols. This is capability help in various situations such as cultural representation, social signal, brand identity, or something. Now, this is the example of emblem. The first one is thumb up. This is gesture actually indicate approval or agreement. The second one is peace sign. This is often used to symbolize peace and non-violence. The last one is heart symbol. This is commonly represent love and affection. Next. Okay. The emblem has types. The first one is culture variation. Different culture sign unique meaning to emblem, making cultural context crucial. For instance, thumbs up, many Western culture using for approval, peace sign UK and US simplify represent peace, but can have different implication the other regions. Nodding hand, while nodding typically indicates agreement in most culture, it may mean the opposite in place like Bulgaria. Next, contextual usage. The context determines how emblems are interpreted. Here are some examples. The first one is corporate logos. Brands are use logo as emblems to convey identity and values quickly. For example, Apple use logo Apple for identity. And then political symbols, flags serve as powerful emblems of national pride or political movements, such as the rice fist symbolizing solidarity. The last one is social gesture. Certain gesture can signal emotion or intention. For example, a hand wave often means hello or goodbye. Okay, we would like to know about relationship with body language. Emblems often complement body language, adding depth to communication. For instance, you might nod your hand while giving a thumbs, reinforcing your approval. Similarly, crossing your arms can signify defensiveness when paired with an emblem like a frown. This is combination of gesture and emblem creates a more comprehensive message that easier for the others to interpret. Next. Okay. Number two is regulature. What is regulature? Regulator are non-verbal message that accompany speech to control or regulate what the speaker is saying. This might including the nodding of the hand to indicate you are listening or understanding something, for instance, and you are encouraging the speaker to continue. Regulate Regulator are nonverbal signal or body movement in simplified. They help control guide a conversation flow. They can be kinesis or body movement, like nodding your hand or raising your hand. Non-kinesis, other action like making eye contact and or moving your eyes. Like example, when American students express if they understand, they will use a sound like yeah, they interpret, they understand. Next, they express if listen, they can speak yeah. Okay. Okay, next, Mr. Dipo, please. Okay, number 3 is illustrator. Illustrator is a gesture or body movement that helps show or emphasize what you are saying. It supports your spoken word and makes your message clear and more interesting. For example, when you say the fish was this big and spread your hand, like kind of the fish big. Yeah, that illustrator. Or when you say turn right over there, we can pointing something like turn out over there and point the direction. That also illustrator. Illustrator help people see what you mean, not just hear. Okay. The rule of illustration. The first one is make communication more powerful by ourselves, showing feelings like using your hands, happy or unhappy, making explanation easier to understand for the listener, keeping the audience interest and focus with watching our gesture. They are used for everyday talking, teaching, advertising, and presentation like we are doing now. Now, the first one is gesture. Actually, gesture we using our body like hand, head, or kind of something. Uh, uh, Next is facial expression. We using our facial eyes, our mouth, smiling, like kind of something. The last one is visual drawing or graphic. This is commonly using in media like chart, picture, or infographic that help explain ideas. Now, this in visual drawing, it is special for comment something, for express indirect message. Next. Number 4 is adapter. What is adapter? This is a body motion used by people to adapt or adjust to communication process that is occurring. In simplify, adapter is small body movement that reveal feeling or comfort level. For example, if you sit upright and show confidence or interest, you may sit like this. If you slouch, it can mean you're tired, sad, feeling low. If you lean forward, you seem interested and engaged. If you lean back, if it can mean you're not interested or uncomfortable. If your arms crossed, it might show defensiveness or unwillingness to listen. If your arms are open, it shows your friend and open. Sorry, change the speaker, you mean? My voice is audible or not, guys?
I think visual this Stephen that explained is right.
Okay. Okay. So is it okay for continue or we need
It's
to
okay.
stop
Continue,
for a
continue.
while? Okay. Okay. Next. Next slide, please, Mister. So, okay, what we will discuss in next slide. We will discuss of nonverbal communication, the types. The first one is eye contact. Eye contact means looking directly into others person I will talking or listen. In simplify, eye contact can be
Storage
control the
point.
flow conversation. For example, you look at someone when it's the eye contact. Okay, so you guys, the eye contact very important for our discussion. Like we can control the flow of the conversation. For instance, you look at the someone when it's their turn talk. So interest and attention, it feel the other person you're listening and care about what they saying, and build the trust and credibility. People believe and respect speaker who maintains good eye contact. So the next discussion will be elaborate with my friends. Please, Stefan Rafael, continue the discussion.
Okay, thank you, Ahmad Nur Huda. Okay, everyone, I'm gonna continue the presentation from this slide. Second, facial expression. The facial expression are the looks on your face that show how you feel, even when you don't say anything. Your eyes, eyebrows, mouth, and cheeks all work together to show your emotions. However, interpretations of facial expression differ from culture to culture. Smiling is a powerful cue that transmits happiness, friendliness, warmth, liking, and affiliation. Okay, next slide, po. Okay, third is gesture. Deliberate movement that signals are an important way to communicate meaning without words. Common gesture include waving, pointing, and giving thumbs up. Sign, other gestures are arbitrary and related to the culture. However, the meaning of some gesture can be very different across cultures. While the OK sign made the hand, for example, usually conveys a positive message in English-speaking countries, it's considered offensive in countries such as Germany, Russia, and Brazil. So it's important to be careful of how you use gesture to avoid misinterpretation. Next slide. Okay. Fourth, posture and body orientation. Posture and body orientation. Posture involves the way a person positions and holds their body, including the alignment of the spine, shoulders, head, and limbs. It is a static or semi-static aspect of body language that communicates subconscious attitudes and physical states. Body orientation refers to the direction in which a person's body or part of it, like the torso, feet, or head, is angled or pointed relative to others or the environment. It reveals levels of engagement, interest, and interpersonal connection. Posture and body orientation show confidence and interest. Standing or sitting upright reflect effectiveness and respect, while slouching may suggest boredom or insecurity. Express engagement, facing the listener directly show openness and sincerity. Po- 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 And turning away can indicate disinterest or avoidance. Cultural difference, personal space, and body orientation vary across cultures. For example, standing close may feel friendly in some cultures, but intrusive in others. Okay, next slide po. Next is body language. Body language is a core component of the nonverbal communication, referring to the conscious and unconscious movements, positions, and expression of the body that communicate emotions, attitudes, intentions, and social cues. Type of body movement. There are two types of body movements. The first is unconscious movement, made without awareness. For the example, it's like looking around the room when bored, biting nails, and touching hair when nervous. Second is conscious movements, made intentionally to express meaning. For the example, like leaning forward toward the speaker to show interest and attention. And the key point is both conscious and unconscious body movement communicate feelings, attitudes, and engagement levels during interaction. Next slide. 7. Space and distance. Space and distance refer to how individuals use physical space to regulate interactions, convey intimacy, power, or discomfort. Signs of discomfort, space invasions like rocking. Second is like swinging. Third is tapping. Fourth is gaze aversion. In large classes, space invasion is rarely an issue. Instead, too much distance can reduce engagement. In special notes, space distance can regulate the flow of interaction, signaling inclusion or exclusion, dominance or submission, or attraction or repulsion. Unlike overt body language, space is dynamic and often subconscious, influencing comfort levels and communicate effectiveness. Okay, from this slide is gonna be explained by my friend Muhammad Dipo Hasbi. Okay, Dipo.
Okay, thank you very much for the time and space that you were to me. Then we continue to the paralinguistic. Paralinguistics refers to the non-lexical or non-words aspect of spoken language, such as tone, pitch, volume, speed, and pauses. They convey emotions, attitudes, emphasis, and intention. Paralinguistic is a subset of non-verbal communication because it modifies the meaning of words without adding new ones. For example, say I'm fine, a flat monotone voice might signal just genuine positivity. And here are the features of paralinguistic. First one is pitch or frequency, the height of voice, and then the next one is volume, the loudness or softness of sound, and then the rate of the speech, and then the tone or the quality of voice, and then the next one is accent or the articulation, and then the next one is rhythm or intonation. And then the next one is touch. Touch is a widely used form of nonverbal communication tool. By touching, one can express a wide range of emotions. However, the accepted modes of touch vary depending on the gender, age, relative status, intimacy, and cultural background of the person. Touch is one of the most primal and direct forms of nonverbal interaction, often by passive words to express support, affection, dominance, or even aggression. It can strengthen relationships or even create discomfort if it is used. Touch varies widely by intent, duration, intensity, and location on the body, making it highly contextual. Unlike visual cues like body language, touch requires proximity and consent of the person, tying closely into proxemics or state and the next one is silence. Silence is the nonverbal communication that often relies on what is not said. And silence deliberately or unintentionally absence of speech or sound occurs as a potent cue that conveys emotion, tension, power dynamics, or relational states. Psychologists like Edward Dipo and Deborah Pence explored silence as a language in its own right, noting it can build tension, foster reflection, or even secure individual. Here are the types of silence that thrive by intent information. First one is comfortable or reflective silence. The next one is awkward or tense silence. And then the next one is strategic or intentional silence. And the last one is attentive or empathetic silence. There are special rules. Silence is inherently negative. Its meaning depends on duration, context, and accompanying nonverbal cues like contact or posture. It interacts with other elements. So the conclusion from nonverbal communication is nonverbal communication is the unspoken language that shapes human interaction, often conveying more about our intention, emotions, and relationships than words convey. Non-verbal cues form a interconnected tapestry, and then and these elements don't operate in isolation or they don't operate single, but they amplify each other. For instance, an open posture paired with steady eye contact and a warm tone building close proximity can foster trust far more effectively than verbal assurance. While a mismatched signal like enthusiasticness with crossed arms and a vertical gaze can undermine credibility. In essence, mastering nonverbal communication enhance clarity, connection, and influence. Their journey they interaction into more meaningful exchange, whether in communication, relationship, public speaking, or class. Tuning into the subtle things, not only with others unspoken cues, but also allows us to communicate our own with readily. Thank you very much for listening our presentation. It's all from Group 1. I hope this material can be benefit for you all, and then thank you very much to listening our presentation. Thank you very much.